Building that home was just really a bad decision that I made. Today's discussion is debt and using debt wisely. So a number of years ago, a friend of mine built a custom home. He had saved his money, bought a lot, and acted as his own general contractor. Or actually, he's not a general contractor, he acts as an owner builder. When you're building a house for yourself, you don't have to hire a general contractor, you can be an owner builder. So that's what he did. Did a good job building the house. It was beautiful, it was nice area, 2-story, he kept his costs down. I thought he did a great job building the house. He did some work himself, not all of it. If you want something done right, hire a professional. Some things though, you might have the skill set to do yourself and can save some money. Also, you gotta be careful that you don't take so much time working on the project that you spend the money in interest, or doing the work yourself isn't always best. Anyhow, he did just enough of the work himself, and my memory is it cost him about $80 a foot to build this house, where if he'd hired a general contractor, it would have been over $200 a foot. So he was sitting in that house really good in a nice area. Well, then we know what happened in 2008. Downturn came. 2009 wasn't any better. He ended up losing the home. A couple years after that, I'm talking with him and he said, yeah, building that home was just really a bad decision that I made. And I didn't say anything, but it didn't make sense to me. Well, I knew that his family and friends didn't really like this idea of him going out and building a home. They weren't entrepreneurs. They weren't deal makers. They were more conservative. And so the idea of building a home made them uncomfortable. But he did a good job. He was in the home at a great price, way under the value. And his statement that it was a mistake building that house didn't register with me. I didn't understand why he was saying that. And now, of course, he had lost the home in foreclosure, so that's a big that's a big bummer. But building it wasn't the issue. Well, I later found out that he had borrowed against the house, and really borrowed up to the hilt on the home, used it almost as an ATM. Because he had built the house and was in it at a good price, there was a lot of equity. So before the downturn, he borrowed all that equity and used it on whatever, used it on something else. Well, that created a big mortgage payment for him. And then when the downturn happened, he couldn't hang in there and lost the home. The issue was not that he built his own home. I encourage you, go build a home. It's great. I've got a close friend who was out trying to find a home, couldn't find a home. I said, why don't you build one? And she's doing it right now in Reno, Nevada. I'm happy for her and her husband. So sometimes building your own home, acting as an owner builder, is the right thing to do. Borrowing on it may not be the right thing to do. Use debt wisely. There's all different kinds of opinions on this. Some debt's good, and I know some debt is bad. And it's hard to grow without using some debt. It's hard to expand. It's hard to reach without some debt. Major corporations all over the country use debt. But having a home that's debt-free is fantastic. Leaves some security, some safety net. So having a big mortgage on your home when you don't need to or don't have to is riskier. Now, I've had people say to me that having a free and clear home, if someone's in that position, that's unwise when you can borrow at 2 or 3% interest. You borrow on 2 or 3% interest, you put that money to work, earning 5, 6, 7, 8% interest, and you can make a spread. And I agree with that. But as long as the investment is good, and what happens if the investment goes bad? And if the investment goes bad, you've now borrowed against your home. So using debt wisely is the discussion for today. Be careful. Grow, expand, thrive, reach for it. Do all you can. Use debt when it's the right thing to do. But be careful. And if it's your home, the safety and feeling of security that it brings to have a home with a minimal amount of debt, a home that you know that you can make the payment every single month without any concern, sure makes the nights longer. You can sleep a whole lot better when you don't have a large mortgage on a home. So that's the discussion for today.